Namaste to everyone and thank you. Thank you. So, today the topic of this reflective, talk or maybe interaction is making the right choices every moment. And one of the bhajans that Soumya ji sang, Chalo Man Ganga Jamuna Tir, that really resonated because I feel that's what it is about making the right choice each moment. So each moment, either I can choose to be in the drain, all of us know what our drains are, and or the choice is to dip ourselves in the holy water of the Ganges, which is also present 24/7 with us. So all the masters so far, scriptures, they have pointed out how to keep the mind dipped in the holy water of Ganges, which is 24/7. Just like the drains are present 24/7 in us, the holy water is also present. Kabir ji has said, Ya ghat bhitar Ganga, yahi me parkhanhara, yahi me hira moti. So where we have to dip within the being. We don't have to go out anywhere. So how do we make practical usage of this topic? That's my concern. And I don't know more than all of you here. I'm just here by chance. But all of us are making choices each moment. And whether I remain dipped in drain, which is the thought mind, which is the sense mind, which is the feelings. And usually all of us as human beings, we think that ye to bada natural hai, this is how human beings are, to be dipped in the thoughts and the feelings all the times. That's what we are. But according to Mother and Sri Aurobindo, that's not who we are. And in Savitri, there are many, many instances where Sri Aurobindo shares that our true self, as if between our sight and the true self, there comes a curtain, and the curtain is of our thoughts. So if I remain immersed all the time in my thought mind, in the sense mind, then there is no chance that I can have a tete-a-tete with my true self. So I'm going to just read a few lines from Savitri which reveal this aspect, that where do we have to go? Where should the mind be resting if we are to find our true self? So both in the yoga of Ashwapati and in the yoga of Savitri, we get these kind of lines. So first, when the queen, mother of Savitri, she is asking why this problem of pain and how cruel the world is. So Narad says, O queen, thy thought is a light of the ignorance. Its brilliant curtain hides from thee God's face. It illumes a world born from the inconscience, but hides the immortal's meaning in the world. Thy mind's light hides from thee the eternal's thought. Thy heart's hopes hide from thee the eternal's will. Earth's joys shut from thee the immortal's bliss. Very clear that if we remain in the mind's light, which is a light, for all of us in darkness, and if we remain in our earthly hopes, there is a lesser chance that we have a rendezvous with our true self. Again, it comes when Savitri has to find now the soul consciousness. She is grieving and she has to now dig out, find her true self. Obedient to a high command, she sat. Time, life, and death were passing incidents, obstructing with their transient view her sight that must break through and liberate the God imprisoned in the visionless mortal man. The inferior nature born into ignorance still took too large a place it veiled herself and must be pushed aside to find her soul. So it's very interesting, what as human beings in ordinary consciousness we consider very natural कि भैया feelings हैं, thoughts हैं, अगर इनमें नहीं रहेंगे तो और क्या रहेंगे, what is it being human. But here it is repeatedly revealed that if we continue to indulge in the drainage waters of our thought, feeling, sense, mind, all of us know repetitive loops of our thoughts, we are not going to find our true self. They have to be pushed aside. And it feels at times very cruel, that on one hand you are grieving for a person that you have lost. And now it says that push it aside. It feels very cruel. But seems like that is the way that we have to follow. Because in pain there is this intensity in which, ordinary life we don't have that intensity, which we get through our difficult situations and pain. So Savitri is commanded that use this intensity to push aside your mortal nature and to find deep hidden within the Godhead, and so that your purpose and mission in this life is to be revealed. And for all of us, we have a mission. We may not say that only yogis and seers have a mission and we don't have. As Mother says that each of us is born a genius, but we mask ourselves. And each of us is a very unique permutation and combination of, how the nature has built us up. And that is what we have to find. And for that, we have to make a right choice each moment. So if there is a situation in front and I continue to dwell in my sensory input and the interpretations of the mind, which is again a layer of curtain, sixth sense, it's a rare chance that I will have the intuitive, direct knowing what the truth consciousness demands from that situation. And I'm sure all of us have glimpses of such maybe short spans, intervals in our life where we were able to commune with that higher thought, because the mind just was so still that it was able to serve as a receptacle for the higher knowledge. So being in the chattery mind, being in the constant, mechanical mind, we cannot have the higher knowledge, or we cannot know what is the divine wanting from me in this situation. And all of us want to make right decisions. All of us want to make decisions which are beneficial for us and the others around us. And if we want that, we have to make the mind quiet. And it's not easy at times to make the mind quiet, because we believe too much in the thoughts. So that's the challenge. Kabir ji says, "Daudat daudat daudiya, jahan lagi man ki daud, दौड़ थके मन स्थिर भया तो वस्तु ठौर की ठौर." Means you ran and ran and ran in every direction that the mind took you, that here you will find contentment, here you will find contentment. But after all the running, when you got tired, then the mind got stilled. There you had the true knowledge. So I think running also has our own importance in our lives, because without running, I am not convinced that I have to stop believing in this chattery, thoughtful mind. And only after so many experiences and blows in life, I get convinced that no, the thoughts may be there, the judgments may be there, but I can now loosely hold them. I can keep it aside and be still yet. It can go into the background, that chatter. And Sri Aurobindo talks about that chatter, that it stays for a long time in the background. But lesser and lesser, I will fuel it. Usually I am fueling it by engaging in it. All that the mind tells us through all the sensory input that we get, what happened in the past, what will happen in the future. And I believe my interpretations of past, present and future. So that belief in our thoughts has to go away slowly. And I believe our life experiences play a major role that our belief goes away. so that in the empty pockets, at least that we have throughout the day, we rest our mind in a stillness. And Sri Aurobindo and Mother talk about various centers where we can rest our mind. I believe it is important for us to know these centers. Some of us may not resonate with it, which is completely fine. Buddhism has said placing the mind onto the breath, because breath is like a thread. If I hold that thread, I come back to the body. So usually we are scattered in the thoughts all around, so holding the thread of breath, I come back to the body. And when mind is in the body, it's home. It's not wounding and getting bled, in the forest of thought. That's not our true home. So the mind feels very lost when it's in thoughts and feelings. Masters have said bhav sagar, bhavnao ka sagar. When they invoke the divine, that please take me away from this bhav sagar, because it's too much, it's overwhelming, and there is no resolution that we find there. So when the mind, by holding the thread of breath, it comes back home, it is relaxed and rested. And when this mind now rises up to action, it's a different mind than the mind which was continuously going on and on and on, and then doing actions from that space. Now the mind has dipped itself in the holy Ganga river, and now it emerges again out from that space. It's a different mind. The quality has changed. So it's very important that we utilize making the right choice each moment. Where am I resting my mind? Am I resting my mind in the incessant chatter of the thoughts, which serve no purpose? Or am I resting the mind maybe in the name of the divine, in the name of Mother, or at a center like, for example, breath, where the mind is rested in the body? Another center that Sri Aurobindo talks about is placing your attention above the head. I believe it's very important also, not just right on the top of the head, but a little few inches above the head. Mother talks about it as if you're holding a inverted mirror, a mirror which is looking upwards, and hold your attention there. It's a beautiful use of time when we are driving, when we are walking, to ingather the threads of mind, for example, above the head. And Sri Aurobindo says that that's our true mind. Beyond the brain-lodged consciousness is our true mind. Brain-lodged consciousness is all the sensory input that I am getting and the interpretations that I am giving to them. Remaining in them, I am in the drain waters, mostly. Because it is not in my control. Whatever interpretation brain gives me, I believe it blindly. Okay, this person, this is how it is, it's his past, this is the future, and totally buy into that belief. So remaining there, I'm dipping my mind in the drain water, and seems like it's not the best choice I can make for myself. And when we are quiet, Sri Aurobindo says, in Hindi we have this word called patrata. Some of us may have heard. Patrata is coming from patra, which is container. And mind is like a container. It has to be now a suitable receptacle for the higher knowledge to come. If I keep filled that receptacle with all the garbage which I consider so precious, what I think about the situation, what I think about myself, my life, this person in front of me, person may be living with you for 20, 30 years, but it doesn't mean that you know that person. So the mind, this patra has to be ripened, it has to be kept ready and empty. Only then we can install the higher knowledge there. It's ready. So patrata has to be there. Because if we fill our container with all the garbage, which we consider so precious, then the divine thinks, okay, no need, the child is doing without me. So much belief we have on our thoughts. So then no interference from the divine knowledge. But it's only when we stop to believe in our thoughts and chatter that we can keep the mind still Hold it still. And mother says, like as if you are holding an inverted mirror upwards. And wait, 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 wait. And then you know what to do about a certain situation. Another center that Sri Aurobindo talks about is in the depths of heart. I'm sure all of us may have heard about it, maybe experimented with it. So basically, in gathering our consciousness, which is all the time scattered around in the sense mind. उसने क्या कहा, उसने क्या नहीं कहा, कैसी स्माइल पास की गई, कैसी नहीं पास की गई. All these interpretations we have to get rid of so that we become patra for the higher knowledge, if we want it in our life. So the crux, I believe, is basically this. Of course, we can go on talking about the matter. There is no end, but I think it would be nice if we take a few, maybe your thoughts, reflections and questions on making the right choice, or maybe what are the difficulties that often we see if one wants to make the right choice and one is unable to, maybe. And after that, we can take a bit of stuff from, again, Sri Aurobindo, where he talks about the Aryan spirit, which is about making the right choice. Yeah, so if there is anything, I'll be happy to take a few thoughts. Yes, please. Yeah, related to that you are ready enough, you're worthy of that knowledge, making yourself worthy of that knowledge. In a sense, each one of us is worthy. We are all children of divine, we are all worthy. But for us, something more is precious than knowing the higher truth. So we keep our container full of our own opinions and thought. So it means I'm not patra enough right now. So patrata would be that I'm going to wait for my lover no matter I remain single throughout this life. That is patrata. That this house will remain empty if not for the divine. But we don't do that. We fill up with, temporary conclusions, and we think they are very precious. So then we lose, I believe that we lose that patrata. Yeah. Yes. So I'll maybe come to what I was going to share next. Yes. So Sri Aurobindo talks about the Aryan spirit. Some of us may have read about it. And Kabir ji also talks about the warrior spirit. Surma, he says in Hindi. It's very interesting to see why the need of warrior spirit. So Sri Aurobindo talks about it. I'll just read a few lines first and then we can reflect over it. Wisdom implies choice as well as the knowledge of that which is the best, noblest, most luminous, most divine. Law of right action is a choice, preference of that which expresses the Godhead to that which conceals it. And the choice entails a battle, a struggle. It is not easily made. It is not easily enforced. And whoever make that choice, whoever seeks to climb from level to level up the hill of the divine, fearing nothing, deterred by no retardation or defeat, shrinking from no vastness because it is too vast for his intelligence, no height because it is too high for his spirit, no greatness because it is too great for his force and courage. He is the Aryan, the divine fighter and victor, the noble man, the Aristos, best, the Shrestha of Gita. For in everything he seeks truth, in everything right, in everything height and freedom. So coming back to Ramesh Bhaiya's question that how to practice this in day-to-day making choices. Whenever we are choosing either to speak a word or to maybe make a decision in our life. We always have a choice, and this Sri Aurobindo mother again and again repeatedly tell us through various instances. Now the choice is, am I acting out from the limited self that I believe I am? Or am I ready to push my boundaries and walk towards a greater perfection in that particular moment? So when we use the word divine, Mother says we can also use the word perfection. So in one little sphere, if I was able to maybe take, last time 3 steps were my maximum. Now I'm ready to push myself, and I say, okay, I'm going to make the extra effort because it is the right effort, and make 6 this time. So we push ourselves. And he talks about that it's a climb. It's not easy. Climb is always uphill. We have to make extra effort. We get tired also. But slowly, as we push ourselves, then we see that there is joy. Mother says, in progress lies true joy. So whenever we little by little we push our boundaries, some maybe inside there was a comment that was coming into you, which you usually would have followed. A judgment was coming into you, which usually would have followed. But you say, okay, let me keep the judgment aside and let me follow what is right in this moment, what is true in this moment. So then we make a little progress, and then Mother says that this is what gives us true joy. So in day-to-day moments, we all know what is coming out of my egoistic consciousness, the limited self, and what is truly necessary in that moment. We, all of us know, we have that knowledge. We have to follow that guidance. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. You said apart from divine, we can say perfection. Can't we say some other word? Can't we say opportunity, or can't we say motivation? As you said, push our boundaries. Can't we say that it's an opportunity for us to grow and widen up?
Yeah, we can say that. Anything that resonates with us. Yes. Basically, it's growth, what you said, to grow.
Exactly.
Yeah, to expand. Yes. Yes, please. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pushing our boundary also. See, if we all try for less than a minute or so, you will see that when you are gathering your consciousness above the head and keeping it there, you won't be able to engage in the thought mind. Try. Let's try for a few seconds. A few inches above the head. Yeah. So you just place your attention here. Let's try for a few seconds. So you will see that you're not able to parallelly engage with the thoughts when you are concentrating above. For that matter, anything, if you concentrate on breath, it's very hard to engage actively in the thoughts when you are concentrating in gathering. So right now what we are doing is we are pushing our boundaries. Usually I am in the sense mind, and the true knowledge is not with me. It's always a biased, partitioned knowledge that I am acting out from. And if I want to know what is the divine will in this particular moment, and it is just one of the infinite possible ways. I'm not saying that, this is how you do it and that's it. But just one of the possible ways which works is, and which has been suggested, is to ingather the consciousness in the true mind, which is not lodged in the brain, lodged consciousness. So I'm pushing my boundaries. I would want to ruminate in my thoughts, but I'm not doing that. I'm giving something else a chance. And parallelly, it's very important, I believe, personally, I feel for me, it's very important, where am I resting the mind? Because if the mind continues to think about what it thinks about a particular situation all the time, and then you want to make a decision in life, then it's like a waste situation again. You have wasted that attempt. While if I again and again try in the empty pockets of time to rest the mind at a place higher, use mother's name, for example. Then when we act in that situation, then I'm relatively sure that it is not coming out of my biases and preferences. है ना, जो भी हम डिसीजन लेते हैं उसमें कहीं ना कहीं हमारे अपने लाइक्स एंड डिसलाइक्स इन्वॉल्व होते हैं, है ना. आप चाहते हो आपका बच्चा ये पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रीम चूज करे, बट बिहाइंड दैट मे बी यू हैव प्लान फॉर हिम ऑलरेडी. So how can I say whether the divine wants it or not? Why would you push that child in that area? How do you know? So if I want the best in that particular situation, then what do I say to myself? That I'm happy to keep aside my likings and preferences and give truth a chance to manifest. तो उसके लिए silence of mind is, I believe that it's one of the essential criteria. उसके बिना मुश्किल है, हो सकता है बट मुश्किल है, मुझे लगता है कि that we give something higher a chance to manifest. So stepping back from our likes, preferences, prejudices in that particular area where we are wanting to make a choice. And it's a very, like, it's not a major choice like, oh, today I have to make this decision. Every moment you are making a choice, where is the mind resting? Is it resting in the continuous chatter, or is it resting ingathered at some place higher than the thought mind? And then as Bhaiya was asking, how to transform these thoughts. So मुझे लगता है that transformation comes later. That's what I think. I may be wrong and just looking at a limited window, but it seems to me, for example, now some of us may have been to Ladakh or some higher mountainous regions. In the higher regions, the air is thin and pure. तो वहाँ पे कहा जाता है कि you give yourself 48 to 72 hours so that your body gets adapted to that particular climate. Don't overwork. 72 hours you rest. The body is getting acclimatized. Now imagine that I go to Ladakh, quickly come back to Delhi, then again go to Ladakh, quickly come back to Delhi, then again, I do like this pendulum movement. Then the body has no need for acclimatization. Why would the body acclimatize to the purer air, thinner air? क्योंकि उसको लग रहा है कि भाई अभी तो ये लद्दाख जाती है, फिर दिल्ली आ जाती है, फिर लद्दाख जाती है, फिर so why the body needs adaptation to the higher climate? And this adaptation will be the transformation of nature, as we say, transforming thoughts and feelings. So when we begin to make this ascend, what we did with the placing of attention above the mind is we make an ascent. We climb uphill. When I climb uphill and I station myself there, and again, if I am falling, I am again stationing myself there. Then again, I am falling, I am again stationing myself there. Then the body may think, okay, now the transformation is necessary because this person maybe wants it. The acclimatization to the purer and thinner air now is necessary. So now if you are living in Ladakh for more days than just coming and going, then the body begins to get adapted to the higher climate. So the more we make this ascent, we see this in Savitri Ashwapati's yoga, that he makes the ascent. So the descent comes down. It's only with the descent that we have a true transformation of thoughts, feelings and the body. है ना, आप बेसमेंट में रहते हो और आप बेसमेंट की डार्कनेस से यू आर वेरी हैप्पी विद द डार्कनेस ऑफ द बेसमेंट. The creepy, crawly creatures that are there, you say that, oh, part of my life doesn't matter. You don't want any light. But when you are tired of that creepy, crawly thing around you all the time and the darkness around you all the time, you reach out for a higher light. Say, no, I want that light, which is on the first floor, for example. So you make that ascent, you climb. Then the descent will come. Why will the descent come when there is no need? When one is happy with the basement. So I believe, as Sri Aurobindo also talks about transformation, it is one of the later steps. Mother says, first be an angel in thoughts and feelings. What Ramesh Bhaiya was talking, making them purer. Then later on, we can talk about the transformation of body and at the cellular level also. So she says, don't try to be an angel in the body if you're not already some of an angel in thoughts and feelings. And why would I be an angel in thoughts and feelings? Because now I want it. I'm tortured by the lower consciousness. And not only I am tortured, people around me are tortured. That's why I will make the choice of not operating from the lower consciousness. It troubles us. It makes us suffer. Sri Aurobindo says, to quiet the mind means not to think about anything that disturbs you. How simple? How simple is that? If only our mind was in our control. So Buddhist practices are all about taming the monkey mind. They talk about bringing the mind to a pinpointed, say for example, looking at breath. If it gets swayed, keep it again to breath. So in the meantime, while we have so many empty pockets of time, the mind is not resting in the drain water or engaging in the darkness. It's uplifted. And when now it makes a choice, it will be a better choice than the earlier one. There is a relative chance that we give it. And we slip, the moment I am not making a right choice, and if I am trying to make a right choice each moment, we slip, we will fall. And we will now consider that as a fall. We will not see it as a normal nature. It's very interesting. So Kabirji gives this analogy of a woman walking on rope. Two poles are attached, there is a rope, and a woman is walking. Her husband is beating the drums on the ground. So he says, जो नटड़िया चले बढ़त पे तो नटड़ो ढोल बजावे, हाले डोले बात बनावे, सुरत बरत पे लागे रे, सुन सायर ज्ञानी यूं ही मन संझावे. So he says, just like the woman on the rope walks and also is making lots of moves while she walks on the rope, but the moment her awareness slips from the ropes, she falls. This is how you make your mind tamed. Parallel consciousness. Being mindful of what we are talking, being mindful of what we are thinking, being mindful of what has been said, this temple of divine presence. Am I making it worthy of the divine presence? Why will the divine come when it's full of garbage? And what is garbage? We all know. We all know what is garbage. That knowing is mother's consciousness, which is in us all the time. Nobody has to train us to see what is dal mein kala and what is dal. We all know. But the thing is that many a times we procrastinate. We say, okay, baad mein kar lenge. I'll make the right choice later. But right now, let me do what I think is right. There we fall again. But then Sri Aurobindo keeps us safe. Through our stumblings, the world is perfected. So we are kept safe. Even our errors make us move forward only. So it's a win-win situation. So I'll just maybe share 2 couplets from Kabir where he talks about making the right choice. And then again we can have some thoughts. And in the story of Nachiketa also, some of us may have heard, when he's asking for these 3 boons from Yama. In one of the shlokas verses, it says that because you have chosen what is Shray over what is Prey, I will grant you this boon. What is beneficial and right, what is over what is pleasant. When he's giving, okay, you take all the wealth and so many palaces and be the king. And he says, this all will not last. Give me something which is forever lasting. So then he says that because you have made that choice, which is a right choice, I will grant you this boon. So we too have to see, we always have Prey and Shray. Prey is what is pleasant. Shray is what is right, what is uplifting. All of us are Nachiketas, and we have to make that choice. So yes, these two dohas I wanted to share. Kabir Guradi Bikhari Sauda Gaya Bikaye Khota Bandha Gaanthadi Khara Liya Nahi Jaye. So there was a loot, like a big bazaar of all the things which are being sold. But you took what would not last, khota, that is, which is shallow. That you considered precious, और उसकी तुमने पोटली बना ली. And he says, खरा लिया नहीं जाए. That which will uplift you, you did not take. So it's my choice. What do I take? Then, हीरा पड़ा बाजार में खलक उलांघ्या जाए जब आवेगा पारखी सहजे लेगा उठाए. So he says, jewels are scattered, diamonds are scattered in the bazaar, in the market. But what do? You step over them and you walk because you are looking for something else, what is pleasant. Jab avega parkhi, sehje lega uthaye. So when the true Johari or Parkhi, I don't know, the one who really sees and knows what is beneficial, the one who will come, he will pick up that diamond because he will know what is to be picked. Yeah, so I'm happy to take more reflections and thoughts. So Ramesh Bhaiya just said that it doesn't mean that we deliberately put ourselves in misery just because by our stumblings the world is perfected. So let me stumble. That should not, because we are making a choice. So let us not make a choice which is giving us more and more misery just because, we can tweak it in any which way. That Sri Aurobindo has said that our errors are his steps on the way. So let me make the error. That should not be the case. Yes. Yeah. This is samsara, we think this is the world of manifestation, but many masters also pointed out that it is the world we carry within our mind. So when I'm entangled in that world within my mind, that's samsara. Which can be, I can be here or in the mountains, but I carry the samsara with me all the time. Yes, please. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'll say it again for all of us. Yeah. Yes. So you are saying sometimes the mind may not be actively engaged in the sensory input, yet it is disturbed. Yeah, that can happen. Yes.
That is natural also.
Yes, it seems natural to us, but it's, yeah. So in Savitri, there comes a line that we have to exceed the human start. So, जैसे गाड़ी में kick लगाते हैं, we in scooter, we place a kick, or in cars, we give the ignition. This level of being human is just an ignition. We have to exceed this human start. Right? So this mechanical mind, so you may be feeling a little sad, sorrowful, or sadness may be there in the background, you are saying. But I'm not actively thinking about anything sad. Right? And that's completely fine. Sri Aurobindo says, because it is our past conditionings. They are working in the back. But the more and more in active, conscious mind, I engage, say, for example, just taking the name of the mother. So you know that there is a dark cloud hovering on you. But you are just ma. You are actively engaging and uplifting your consciousness. You will see, mother says, slowly and slowly, the crises are of a shorter duration. The crisis may still be there. But they'll pass just like passing clouds, monsoon wale clouds, they pass very quickly, very light, they're just floating. So the cloud may come still, but you have stopped fueling it. Because I am the one, when I am engaging in those thoughts and believing in those thoughts, then I am fueling it, then I am making the cloud bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So we propel our misery. At least that part I can not do. Then we will see that crises actually are of a shorter duration. The cloud may be there in the background, but you are consciously staying with the mother's name or whoever the divine that you resonate with, and you let it pass and you stay in your true consciousness. You don't believe in that chatter. Yeah. which the chatter may be at a very subconscious level. Yes, yes. Thank you. Very true. So Ramesh Bhaiya just said that ignition may be related to, like, we have an awakening, and then all the nature has to tune into that awakening. Thought has to listen to that awakening, the feeling has to be tuned to that awakening, the body, the physical has to be tuned, which may take a lot of back and forth and back and forth. All of us may know. No. Yeah. So if there is nothing more, let's maybe take a last moment of silence. I like to do this, that sharing all the merit that we may have accumulated owing to collective reflection, our own sadhana, may all the merit be shared with all the sentient beings. And may all of us be able to gather the strength to make the right choice each moment. May our hearts be full, minds simple, uncomplicated, and may we have lots of joy and progress in our life. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.